Hey everybody, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. This past weekend I had the opportunity to hang out with my friends Kenny and Donna of K&D Adventures. It was a fun time. They're very cool people. We decided to take a trek over to Hackensack, New Jersey and check out this submarine that's pretty much been lodged in mud within the Hackensack River for quite some time. On the way back, we decided to stop in this park that was made famous by the broadcast of War of the Worlds done by Orson Welles. It was a very awesome place, and I'm hoping that you enjoy this video.
We're exploring Tom's World.
That's right, it's my world, damn it.
That's right. Well, you're in our world now. Because this side of the video is our world. That side of the video is his world.
That's right, this is Tom's world.
This
damn it.
is Tom's world. This is K&D Adventures world. That's right, it's two worlds collide. Woo! Alright, let's go see this submarine.
This is the USS Ling. It's a submarine that once belonged to the United States Navy. It was named for the Ling fish. The ship is now grounded in the Hackensack River at the former location of the defunct New Jersey Naval Museum. As you can see, it is quite inaccessible to the public. Since 2007, efforts have been made to find a new home for the Ling. In 2019, the Louisville Naval Museum initiated a campaign to relocate the ship to Louisville, Kentucky, on the Ohio River. As you can see, it is still here in Hackensack. The Ling was launched August 15, 1943, and then commissioned June 8, 1945. During its active service, the Ling received 1 battle star for its efforts in World War II. The Ling was then decommissioned October 26, 1946. In March of 1960, it was towed to Brooklyn, New York, where it was to be converted into a training ship in the Brooklyn Navy Yard, simulating all aspects of submarine operations. It was then reclassified an auxiliary submarine in 1962. In December of 1971, it was then reclassified again as a miscellaneous unclassified submarine.
Another behind-the-scenes look at K&D Adventures.
Just recording here in case Kenny falls on his butt.
Got a lot of padding back here.
So we found the gate, and there it says no trespassing.
Wop, 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 wop.
So, no trespassing. I was going to say something I've been wanting to see for years. Since I saw it in Weird, New Jersey. Saw it in that magazine. Loved it. And wanted to come up ever since. Especially because it's Hackensack. This is where Lex Luthor launched the other missile that Superman saved in the first Superman the movie.
The movie.
Because it was
The movie
Superman the
movie.
movie. Yeah. With Superman the motion. Yeah. I think it was a movie. But he saved it because Miss Tessmacher's parents lived here. He's like, Lex, my parents live in Hackensack. And he's like,
Not for long.
Not for long.
and that was it. And then she went and freed Superman so he could fly over and save Hackensack. And this is what he said.
And here we are.
On to the next place.
I don't think that's a great idea.
Yeah. As far as I'm going.
And that was it. We tried to get closer, it just did not work. Well, we got a little closer anyway. You can see the front.
And apparently this is where the Martians crashed in War of the Worlds. Yeah. So we're gonna go find a monument that we heard was here and that commemorates this. And am I doing both?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, I'm gonna go
Hi,
back to back.
Tom's
There you
World.
go.
There you go, Tom's World. What? We're doing back to back.
It's Inception.
So yeah, there's a monument over here somewhere in the woods behind us. And we're gonna go find it if it's there. If we're in the right spot. We might not be in the right spot, but we're gonna see. There were no televisions or cell phones.
What?
People gathered around their radios for news and entertainment. What? America was just coming out of the Great Depression, and Adolf Hitler had recently ascended into power in Germany. A threat of another world war had Americans on edge. I feel like I should use a dramatic voice.
You should.
The War of the Worlds was a science fiction novel by H.G. Wells. Now I'm doing Captain Kirk. I don't know why that started. That was adapted by the Mercury Group on CBS Radio at 8 p.m. on October 30th, 1938. That's the year of the first Action Comics #1 with Superman. Oh, that's not on here, but the production was directed and narrated by Orson Welles, who also voiced many of the characters. When Welles and Howard Koch, hope I'm saying that right, adapted the book for a radio play, the script was written and performed so it would sound like a news broadcast about an alien invasion. While broadcasters made several periodic announcements that the show was a fictional performance, many listeners believed that the events were actually happening. Wow. Saying? Oh, Tom's doing the 3D version.
All right.
All right, the October 30th broadcast. You should do this one.
Me?
You do this one.
I suck at reading.
Collaboration.
The broadcast was 1 hour long and constituted of multiple news bulletins which interrupted Raymond Raquello and his orchestra playing smooth jazz.
Yeah.
The skit involved the skit involved on the scene reporters and scientific authorities who reported on the events occurring as a Martian capsule landed in Grover's Mill.
That's where we are.
We're here.
Grover's Mill.
The Martians attacked and destroyed the New Jersey State Militia, and then they attacked other cities throughout the county, including New York City. The last portion of the broadcast was monologue by Wells explaining that the Martians had been killed by a pathogen. I got that word. I was
You did?
surprised.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. I was like, oh shit. Pathogen.
Oh,
A pathogen?
a
Pathogen.
What is a pathogen?
Pathogen.
Pathogen.
Right there. Where are we? Oh, I gotcha. To end the show, Wells went back to his normal persona, another big word, and announced that the show was a Halloween joke.
Dun,
dun, dun.
dun, dun.
Now it's another one, and another. They look like tentacles to me.
This was like a sex show. Nobody understood back then. They didn't
See?
realize it. It was a sex show.
They thought it was
There,
horror.
I can see the thing's body. It's large as a bear, and it glistens like wet leather.
Keep reading, girl. This
But-
is great.
But that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. The eyes are black and gleam like a serpent. The mouth is V-shaped with saliva dripping from its rimless lips that seem to quiver and pulsate.
This is great. This is gold. I love this.
A Princeton professor describing the Martian's weapon. For want of a better term, I shall refer to this mysterious weapon as a heat ray. It's all too evident that these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. A bulletin stated, I have been requested by the governor of New Jersey to place the counties of Mercer and Middlesex as far west as Princeton and east to Jamesburg under martial law.
Dun, dun, dun.
4 companies of state militia are proceeding from Trenton to Grover's Mill and will aid in the evacuation of homes within the range of military operations.
Nice.
Woot! Oh wow, look, they have it here. New York Times. Ooh.
International reaction. Approximately 6 million people are believed to have heard the broadcast, and there have been conflicting ideas about the number of people who actually panicked. The front page of the New York Times on the following day had the story of the broadcast with the headline, Radio Listeners in Panic, Taking War Drama as Fact. The story told of responses throughout the country, including thousands of persons called the police, newspapers and radio stations here and in other cities of the United States and Canada seeking advice on protective measures. Get your guns. In Newark, in a single block at Hedden Terrace, more than 20 families rushed out of their houses with wet handkerchiefs and towels over their faces.
Oh my God, it sounds
For
like
what?
now. Wait.
Why?
Put your
See?
mask on.
In Indianapolis, a woman ran into a church screaming, "New York destroyed. It's the end of the world. You might as well go home to die." I just heard it on the radio. Services were dismissed immediately. Legend has it that locally, some residents opened fire on a water tower, thinking it was a Martian. Oh my
Wow, we
goodness.
gotta find that.
Yeah, because that big water tower that's been there for years, you know,
Is
that's
now a
suddenly a
Martian.
Martian spaceship.
That is where I keep my modulator.
In the days following the broadcast, a public outcry arose, but the station maintained that listeners were reminded throughout the broadcast that it was only a performance. The Mercury Theater escaped punishment, and CBS had promised never again to use the "We interrupt this program" format in fictional entertainment.
That could
In
have been
2003, the broadcast of The War of the Worlds was made part of the National Recording Registry of the Library of Congress.
Woohoo!
And I think that
1938, Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Let's see what this says. Should we read it? Okay. On the evening of October 30th, 1938, Orson Welles and the Mercy Theater presented its dramatization of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds as adapted by Howard Notch. This was to become a landmark in broadcast history, provoking continuing thought about media responsibility, social psychology, and civil defense. For a brief time, as many as 1 million people throughout the country believed that Martians had invaded the Earth, beginning with Grover's Mill, New Jersey, because this is where they would be. Okay.
Well, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Also, please make sure you subscribe to K&D Adventures. You'll see the link for it right up there, right now. Click on that, go to their channel, make sure you subscribe to it, and like all their videos. As I said, they are very fun people, and I think you're going to enjoy them. Until then, make sure you stay safe and take care.